Hi, everybody. Um, my name is Sarah Hermanot, and I am an OAS Support Program Coach. I think it's safe to assume that if you found your way to this video, you know what the OAS Support Program is, but I'm just going to go ahead and give a brief little description of what it is we do. So we are a group of student coaches. We all go to Eastern, and I think we're all psychology majors, and we're all doing this as our internship. So we were trained and we're supervised weekly, and we provide advice and just general help with academic and social skills. So you could book an appointment with any one of us during our listed hours, and we could just help you out with some things that you may be struggling with. Um, and we're available to all Eastern students, so you don't have to be registered with the OAS to use our services anymore. And with COVID-19 and we had moving online, we're still available. So I'll show more later in the presentation about how you can book an appointment with us. But I just wanted everybody to be aware. Don't hesitate to still book an appointment with us. We can meet via email if that's what you would like, or Microsoft Teams. They have an instant chat option if you want, or we could video chat or just call, just the audio if you're more comfortable that way. So reach out and we can figure out ways to still meet with each other. And it's been going well so far. So just so everybody's aware of that. And so the topic of this little presentation is finals and studying for finals. I know it could be super stressful, like finals, even under normal circumstances, are stress inducing. So most of these tips would, benefit anybody even on campus, but I think it's helpful to get a reminder about these kinds of strategies, especially now, and hopefully, you could gain some confidence and worry less about um, finals coming up. So, just gonna jump right in. So for today's presentation, I'm just going to cover a few different things pertaining to studying and preparing for final exams. So first is going to be study strategies. So which ones should we be using that are going to be most effective for success? And then different styles of exams, so whether it be multiple choice, fill in the blank, matching, or essay style exams, what should we do to tailor our study strategies to those specific types of exams? And then also just some other tips and tricks about how to prepare for exams. What should you do on exam day? Maybe some like relaxation or stress relief tips too. So that's what it's all about today. Okay, so I just wanted to start by saying that on many occasions across many different studies, it's been consistently found that students learn information better and for longer. It's more long-term memory if they've been tested on it previously. So the active retrieval really promotes memorization. And it's better than just repeated studying, like if you're just reading the same thing over and over again. So knowing this information really guides what we do to study, like what researchers suggest students should do to study, which I've learned a lot from reading these things, and I'm like, I should change the way I'm studying, because it not only does it help you, but it kind of like it prevents you from wasting time um, doing study strategies that aren't as useful. So and many students aren't aware of which study strategies are most effective. So that's why it's important to learn these things and kind of understand, um, you know, what we should be doing. Okay. All right. And so when thinking about studying, we really want to consider three things. And those are the what, the how much, and the when. So the what is really is like which techniques should we be using? So what techniques are we using? The how much is how long or how much time is spent studying. And then the when is when are we doing the studying? So are we doing it the night before? Are we doing it the day of? So this particular study looked at the study habits of students as they relate to these three questions, and then compared it to their intended versus their actual behavior. So they put the average participant study behaviors into the context of what we should be doing. So I'm just going to delve more into that in the following slides. Okay, so starting with the what, these are the different types of strategies that are more or less effective. So these are listed up on the slide. So starting with the effective strategies, these are the ones that are more engaging and are involving the student more. So flashcards are great because they require you to first find the information and record it all in one place, whether you're writing it out by hand, typing it, using Quizlet, using your phone. You have to find the information and put it all in one spot. So that's kind of like a step one. It's like reviewing the information. And then you go ahead and use them to quiz yourself, which is that practice retrieval. So that's what's going to help you to ingrain it into your memory. And for a long time, long enough to remember it for the exam, and it's also, you're more likely to remember it for a longer time. And then practice in quiz testing is kind of like the same type of deal. You could do this with your family members since we're all stuck at home. If you have somebody in your family or somebody who you live with who's willing to, hold your study guide, like look at it, ask you questions about it, and then tell you if your answer was right or wrong or what information you might have missed. That's helpful. When I was still on campus, I would do this with my roommates. But it's still possible to do this with your friends if you're able to use Zoom or FaceTime, group text, something like that. As long as we're remaining socially distant, we can still benefit from the help of our friends. So some of the less effective techniques are the passive ones that aren't as engaging. So these are things like highlighting the book or rereading your notes. So they're not as effective. And rereading your notes is especially ineffective because it relies so heavily on the quality of your notes. So if you have poorly constructed notes, this isn't going to be helpful for you. So this is also something to consider when you're creating your flashcards or your practice tests. However, you do that. Because you don't want to pull all the information that you're using to create a way to study. You don't want to pull that all from just your notes. Because say you got the notes from somebody else in class or you took your own notes, there could be information missing. So you want to use whatever else is available to you as well. So whether it be recorded lectures, the textbook, asking peers, asking your professor, and you can also, like I said, create some sort of a study group with your peers via Zoom, FaceTime, group text, or anything like that. So you don't want to just rely on only your notes. Okay, I'm over here now. Sorry, it was blocking the text. So I just want to talk a little bit more about flashcards. So some common mistakes that students make while using flashcards is that they practice until they can do it fast or until they don't have to look at the answer anymore and then interpret this as knowing the information, when really that could be problematic because maybe you're doing it fast because you've left something out, or maybe you don't have to look at the answer anymore, but how do you know you covered everything or got the answer correct? So instead, what we should be doing is practicing until we can thoroughly define the term, or explain the idea with examples and detail if necessary, and then always check our answer afterwards just to make sure that we got it right. Now, let's talk about the how much and the when. So, in many cases, what students intend to do for studying doesn't actually equal what they end up doing. So, for example, maybe you plan to study for 6 hours for an exam. Say you have an exam on a Friday and you plan to study 6 hours, so you say, okay, I'll just study 3 hours on Wednesday night and 3 hours on Thursday. Um, Seems okay, but then when you actually get to Wednesday and Thursday, you don't know what kind of unexpected distractions or other things might uh, come into play, and you might end up not studying, and then you're too close to the day of the exam that you can't fit in however much you meant to study for. So, one way that we can fix this problem is to consider the when. So we should start earlier in the week, or maybe even 2 weeks ahead of time. So this way we can break up that 6 hours or so into smaller increments. So then, excuse me, so then maybe you can even end up spending more time studying. Maybe you do an hour a day. Maybe you break up that hour into 30-minute sessions in one day. So whatever works for you. You can plan this out ahead of time, and then try to stick to your study schedule. And then if unexpected distractions occur, then you're far enough away from the exam that you can kind of adjust your schedule to fill in those gaps and kind of what is the word I'm looking for? Kind of just like make up for the time lost. And even though our finals are approaching really quickly, we're still far enough away that if we start planning right now, we could still spread out our study times. We could still start early. And if you need help kind of planning when you're going to study, you could always reach out to the OAS Support Program, book an appointment with one of the coaches, and we can help you kind of try to set a plan for yourself. Okay. And next I want to talk about the different types of exams. So for multiple choice, this and also like matching, fill in the blank types of questions on exams, this will require you to know definitions and concepts and to be able to distinguish between different definitions and concepts. And then for an essay style exam, they require you to have a more comprehensive understanding of an idea with more details and, in most cases, examples. So you want to study accordingly if you know what the setup of your exam is going to be. So for both, you can implement the engaging retrieval techniques that we talked about before. For both, you can use flashcards. So the thing is that you're just going to kind of want to tailor the information that you are practicing to what style of exam you're going to be taking. So some exams might have a combination of these styles. So you want to try to think about which information might appear as an essay question. So in most cases, these will be like more elaborate ideas that need more explanation and detail than just a definition. So you want to think about that. Think about maybe what did the professor emphasize and talk about for like a whole class or for like an extended amount of time. So, and just kind of drawing into like what do you think was most important? What do you think requires more than just a simple definition? And and that's a good hint as to what might appear as an essay question on an exam. So when you're studying for essay questions, be able to talk about it for longer than just a simple definition. Be able to expand upon the knowledge and incorporate examples and detail. Okay, so on exam day, it's important to kind of prepare yourself and get yourself in the mindset of it's time to take an exam. So maybe get a snack, relax a little bit, have some water ready for yourself before you take the exam. Go to a quiet room if you're able to. If there's not like a private, quiet area for you in your house, maybe let the people around you know that you're going to be taking an exam so that they can kind of like be quiet and be respectful of that. And then also treat it like an exam, like on campus. So whether you take your exams in the class, I don't know, sometimes it's even just online if you're taking an online class, or in the testing center. So you have to, use the bathroom beforehand in most cases, or if the exam's open, have your notes ready, or if you're allowed a cheat sheet, have your cheat sheet ready. But if not, put your notes away, maybe in another room where you can't see them and you won't be tempted to look during the exam. And also turn off your phone, put your phone away somewhere where you can't see it, just to avoid those distractions. And then doing all these things, kind of making it feel like an exam, like an in-person exam, will help you to get into that mindset, that test-taking mindset, excuse me, which will help you. Okay, so I've listed my references here. All of these references are available full text. If you just put in the name of the study into Google Scholar, you can find those. So if you wanted to look at the full studies from what I talked about, excuse me, you could do so. Okay, and then I just provided some other resources for you. First, for study skills, I put a link to a website that has free printable planners. So you can print these if you want. If not, you can download them and fill them out on your computer or your phone, or however you want to do it. Or you could even just, get inspired and get ideas to create your own planner. Just like however you want to do it. And then I have another link there for more tips for studying at home. Those were some useful things for how to, like, little tips to help you while you're studying from home. And then I also wanted to include some stress management tips in here, because I know during this time, like finals on their own are always stressful. But then add on top of it that we are, experiencing this pandemic, and there's so many other stressors going on right now too. So I wanted to include these. So one thing you can do is download some free apps. You can kind of just look through on your own and find, like, there's a bunch of different ones. So look through, see what's free, what looks like it's something that would work for you. One of the ones that I use that I find really helpful is called Anxiety Helper. And it has a bunch of resources, tools, information about anxiety, depression, and multiple other things. You can check it out. It's like really nice setup, easy to navigate and everything. And that's completely free. So that's one suggestion I had. And then this next link here is from the American Heart Association. It's tips to manage stress. So it teaches you some positive self-talk, and some other things, some other useful tips. So you could check that out if you want. Or as always, you can book an appointment with an OASSP coach, and we're always welcome. You're always welcome, and we love to meet with you all. So I also just wanted to include Eastern's Instagram, so you can follow us at Eastern OAS. And then I also put the link to book an appointment with us. So just you could type that in, and it'll take you to the bookings page, and you can see all of the coaches' availability, and you can book an appointment with us there. And then lastly, I just wanted to say thank you for listening. I hope this information was helpful to you. I wish you all the best of luck on your finals. If you have any other questions, you can comment down below on the YouTube comment section, and I will check it and comment back to you to answer your questions. Or you could book an appointment with us. We're here to help you, and we're all in this together. So good luck on your finals, and I hope everybody is staying safe. Thank you.